Hi, my name is Caitlin Sisk, and my major is Early Childhood Education, and my speech is on caffeine. Caffeine. To some they are indifferent, but to others it is an essential part of everyday life. But what exactly is caffeine? And to those so dependent on it, what are the positive and negative effects of that much-needed cup of morning coffee? Caffeine is a natural ingredient that has been used throughout cultures for hundreds of years. It is estimated that African folklore discovered coffee around 800 AD. Although caffeine is naturally found in a vast amount of food and drinks, it is classified as a drug. Caffeine has been found to share a number of traits with drugs such as cocaine and heroin. It has been proven that caffeine and these other drugs use the same biochemical mechanisms, making these drugs both highly addictive and hard to quit. Much like cocaine and heroin, caffeine increases our level of dopamine, or the neurotransmitters that activates pleasure in the brain. But what is the downside of this? After the caffeine wears off, a person is more likely to become fatigued or depressed, until the next cup of coffee where the levels of dopamine increase. According to the DSM-5, a guide for psychologists to classify mental disorders, caffeine withdrawal is classified as a mental disorder. Caffeine withdrawal can create a vicious cycle resulting in lack of sleep and ultimately addiction. Since caffeine is a drug, there poses the risk of an overdose. Overdose occurs when a person consumes more of a substance than the recommended amount in a day. Although caffeine overdoses are uncommon, symptoms include jitters, increased heart rate, anxiety, sweating, vomiting, and cardiac arrest. It is estimated that a caffeine overdose could occur when a person consumes anywhere between 250 to 500 milligrams of caffeine. Caffeine intoxication has been added to the DSM-5. Caffeine intoxication can be diagnosed when the person shows 5 or more of the following symptoms: restlessness, nervousness, excitement, insomnia, flushed face, muscle twitching, rambling flow of thought and speech, or psychomotor agitation. Caffeine should be avoided during pregnancies. If a woman consumes caffeine while pregnant, the caffeine can cross the human placenta. This means that the caffeine concentration in the fetus can reach as high as the mother, according to the March Times. Too much caffeine during the pregnancy can lead to low birth weight and even miscarriage. Doctors recommend that if you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant, you should consume no more than 200 milligrams of caffeine a day, which is equal to 1 12-ounce cup of coffee. Doctors also recommend avoiding herbal products, for the amount of caffeine they contain are undetermined. Caffeine consumption has also been linked to osteoporosis, diabetes, infertility, according to Livestrong. It is also important to remember that every one of our bodies function differently, so how caffeine affects one person may not affect the other. As you can see, caffeine contains quite a few negative qualities. However, caffeine has a number of positive effects. Caffeine has been proven to make a person more happy and alert, which definitely comes in handy by the time finals week rolls around. Caffeine can benefit our health. Studies have shown that coffee drinkers have a 30% less chance of developing Parkinson's disease than non-coffee drinkers. Studies also shown that the more coffee you drink, the less likely you are to develop the disease. The frequent consumption of coffee has also been proven to decrease a person's risk of gallstones by up to 20%. Some research shows coffee to be beneficial to dental hygiene. Drinking 2 cups of coffee a day can also reduce the risk of colon cancer by 25%. Scientists believe this may stimulate the gallbladder, causing it to contract, which empties the stone-forming cholesterol and bile pigments. Caffeine is most notorious for its feeling of alertness. The effects of caffeine can be felt 15 minutes after its consumption. It is recommended that a person should drink their last cup of coffee by 12 p.m., so their sleep is not affected, since caffeine can stay in one's system for up to 6 hours. Caffeine consumption has been proven to improve mental and cognitive abilities. The increase in efficiency with neurotransmitters results in alertness, concentration, decision-making, problem-solving, and muscular coordination. As you can see, there are many positives and negatives to caffeine. What makes caffeine unique is it affects everyone differently. Some people will stay up all night if they have coffee after lunch. Others, like my grandpa, can have it at 9 p.m. and fall asleep minutes later. When consumed in moderation, caffeine can be a lifesaver to some, including myself. I believe it is up to the individual to decide whether or not caffeine is suitable for them. Caffeine has a number of positives that can benefit both physical health and mental health. It has also been a part of our culture and cultures around the world for hundreds of years. So whether you are an avid coffee drinker or somebody who occasionally sips a cup of coffee, drink on.
So how do we do?
Well, I didn't start the